One of the main focuses of my YouTube channel has been computers over the years. Lately, I've been noticing a trend in that my computer-related videos have not been doing so well. Now, my videos tend not to do very well in general, but even by the standards of my videos, they tend to be pretty low on the totem pole of general interest. And I'm working on a theory, and it is that the computers that I've been taking a look at lately have been squarely in the realm of too old to be useful, but too new to be vintage. So we're going to take a look at some actual vintage computers that will be getting their own video at some point. You can call this an upcoming vintage computer features video, starting with this one, which is probably the one that I'm most excited to be playing with. It is a Packard Bell PB8810 from the late 80s, maybe even the early 90s. It is a 10 megahertz, I believe it's 10 megahertz anyway, 8088 based system, Turbo XT. That would have been sold around the time the Turbo XT was pretty much thoroughly obsolete, but this is what got a lot of people into computing back then. Now, you're looking at this, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, gee, that looks an awful lot like a Packard Bell PB500. And you'd be right. I don't actually know what the difference between the two is, other than the power switch on the front. Other than that, and maybe the styling of the faceplate, it looks to me like they're basically exactly the same machine. It might be that this one's a little bit smaller. A friend of mine actually used to have a PB500 back in the day. And it always interested me because I'd never really heard of the idea of a Turbo XT before, at least back then. I had my XT, which was just a 4.77 megahertz system, but the Turbo system really intrigued me. See back here, PB8810, there's a serial number, made in Korea. There's the assembly number, PB88V. Again, I don't really know what that means. I don't see a date code on this anywhere. Factory set at 115 volts. That's not a standard power supply. So, if that's bad, that might be a problem. This was sold to me as untested. Although in the listing it was powered up. So, it probably works. I just hope that that doesn't blow up. Because if it does, that'll be a real problem. You can see dip switch right there. I'll have to look at what that configuration is. But I'm almost wondering, since the first two switches are off, I don't remember the exact order. It could be that the two switches on the left correspond to the video, and the two on the right correspond to both the integrated serial and the integrated parallel ports. Or maybe it's the other way around. But if it is the other way around and the left corresponds, it's possible that these are both disabled, which is interesting. I don't know why somebody would do that. You know, especially since they don't have add-on cards really installed. Just a video card here, which looks like it's also got a game port. Is that what it's labeled as? I can't really tell. Actually, it's not labeled at all. It's got a color mono switch, which is set to color. I should probably change that, because the monitor that I got is a monochrome monitor, but it's possible that that monochrome monitor is a CGA monitor. So, in fact, I think it is. It's CGA capable, at least. And this thing that says SL03, that would be the hard drive controller. Probably an MFM controller, maybe an RLL controller. Basically an ST506 compatible interface, which is something that confuses a lot of people. I may talk about that in the video of this machine when I do it later, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the cover and take a look, because I am a little bit concerned about the health, because these systems actually had those NiCad barrel batteries in them, and I'm hoping somebody has removed it, because if they didn't, it's probably done a number on the motherboard. Here's a look inside the Packard Bell. You can see switching power supply, PS901, probably a 90 watt power supply if I had to guess. Let's see if it actually says somewhere on it. A couple of adjustment trimmers. So, there's very few cards in this machine. I'm kind of surprised to see just how little there really is. Because it looks like... Oh no, the serial and parallel are built into the board. I wasn't paying any attention. I forgot about that. So serial parallel on board. But you only get 25-pin serial. So if you want to use the 9-pin, you gotta get an adapter. Of course, there's the keyboard connector at the front, which is a standard AT connector, as far as I remember. Although, it's not standard AT, if this is not an AT clone. And I believe this will answer our question if we take a look at this board. Can't tell what chip that is. But that looks like it's the CPU there. And you can see it says MBL 8088-1. So this is an XT clone. So that's a standard XT slot. Now there's some rust on some of these screws. I'm a little concerned to see that. I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that the backup battery has been removed. Hey, look at that, it's on all the feet. That's impressive. So let's turn the light on. Let's see if we can see in there. I don't really see. Oh, yeah, there's corrosion. So if the battery is not removed, which it's not, it's right there. Yeah, it's not good. Alright. So there's a good chance this does not function. I'm going to pull that power supply, see if I can get a better look. Okay, let's take a look at the carnage. And that does not look good at all. First things first, this stupid thing is coming right out. So, wow. I don't know what that was. I think I just rubbed out the marking on it. Huh! So now I definitely have no idea what that was. So, yeah, there's a lot of damage over there. Those tracers are destroyed. So, there's a very, 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 very good chance that this does not function. Or maybe it'll be fine. If it's fine, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to invest too much time and effort into this. Because if it works, I might as well just leave it alone. So, we'll take a look at this controller board. It's a Seagate ST11R. It's a pretty common controller board. This is, I don't even know what. Looks like a pretty generic board. I can't tell whose chip that is. See if we can get some zoom on it. 6612, Japan. I don't know if that's the video processor or not. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just leave this alone. I'm not going to mess around with anything else. I suppose if I have to, I'm going to probably end up having to pull this board. Because it looks like there's a giant glut of destruction right here. Like my period correct monitor. I don't see if it blows up as soon as I hit power. Nothing blew up yet. Now this is a monochrome monitor. I have no idea what its capabilities are. I have no idea if it even works. So this could be a double whammy. Watch it blow a reefer cap as soon as I power this on. I did not hear a DGOS coil. I did hear something go boom. Might even be something on fire. power. I don't trust that. Something smells like blown capacitor, which really stinks. But, check this out. No keyboard. Testing RAM. It actually performs a power on self-test. Even though that monitor looks like crap. And that's actually in color mode, too. In monochrome mode, it's completely illegible. So, I don't know if the problem is with the card, the computer, because it could still be with the computer, or if the problem is just with this monitor. I do know where I can source another TTL monitor. Maybe I'll give that a try. See how much RAM it counts up to. Well, not really. You can't really tell. I'm sure this is really good for the monitor. Whatever made that poofing sound, it was definitely a capacitor. But it was probably in the computer. Because I think the smell is wafting out of the power supply. I don't dare stick my face over by that, because that would guarantee that there's a problem. So this message about disk bad, press F1 key to continue. Drive 1 is an ST I don't know what. I can't tell, I can't read it. But it posted. So, even with all that damage on the board, it still seems to work, somehow. Okay, it's a little bit later. I figured I might as well wrap this up. It wasn't supposed to be a video of this computer doing really much of anything. In fact, like I said, I wasn't even going to turn it on in this video, but I did. I was able to determine a couple of things. At least it posts, which, given the damage on the board, is actually quite impressive. But, definitely have some work to do. So, enough about that. Let's go take a look at the other one. Alright, here's the other one. This is an Acer 900 personal computer. I believe, if I remember right, it's a 286. Might be a 386, but I'm pretty sure it's a 286. It's in a little bit better condition than the Packard Bell, but not much. It'll certainly still need some cleaning. It's interesting how differently those have yellowed. I'm also kind of wondering why there's such a different faceplate in the bottom. The bottom blank there. I'm wondering why that's so different. System lock is on, which that's a little concerning because I didn't get the keys. So I'm hoping that system lock on means that the system is unlocked. Guess we'll find out eventually once I actually get my keyboard out here and start playing with it. It does not have the big red switch on the side. It's got the black switch on the back. Please check, whatever. This one actually has the inverse IEC connection. MPF PC 900, made in Taiwan, Republic of China. There's the FCC ID and the serial number. Date code 890525-M. So that would be 1989, May 25th. It might have even been a Monday. Anyway, there's your keyboard connection, just a standard AT. We got your serial and parallel. There's no integration on this. One of those is probably, it might even be that board there. That might be a multi-function I/O board that's got the floppy and hard drive controllers on it. There was something there at one point. You can see that's a different blank. And then this is the video card, which is VGA. So, that might be a little bit more productive than the TTL output on the Packard Bell, because I actually have a VGA monitor set up that I know works. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the cover, if I can. It's missing most of the screws, but it does at least have some of them. We'll go ahead and we'll pop that cover and take a look inside. Okay, here it is with the cover taken off. We can see, I did actually pull out the drive cage because I wanted to take a look at this hard drive. Because if you look at it, there's no real discernible markings on the top of it, well, that are visible as to what it is. This is actually a Conner Peripherals drive, model CP344, which is a 40 megabyte drive. Well, 42, but you're not going to get 42 megabytes, you get 40. Actually, you'll get less than that, but it would have been billed as being a 40 megabyte drive. It's IDE, which is pretty nice to see in a 286. I'm kind of wondering if this actually was a system with a hard drive originally. Even though I know it's got the Acer sticker on there. I'm kind of wondering if that was added after the fact by an Acer dealer. Just, number one, because of that sticker. And number two, see, this here is unpainted. And I'm kind of wondering why that would be. Might have been where a warranty void sticker would have gone. That would be my guess anyway. Here's the floppy drive. 5¼ inch. This system looks like it would have been old enough that a 3½ inch drive would require the use of an adapter. I think I've got a couple of those sitting around, but I'm not sure I'll add a 3½ inch floppy to this. I've got another 286 that's got a 3½ inch floppy in it. If I want to put stuff on this, I can do it that way. Let's see. A lot of red wires on that. There's the connection to the board. There's a switch block there. And there's a jumper probably somewhere not too far away from that for the CPU speed selection for turbo. You can see there, this does not actually have a turbo switch. It would have used a keyboard combination to select. CPU is there. It's an Intel 286 12 megahertz and a PLCC socket. You can also see that you get what looks like 6 16-bit ISA slots and 2 8-bits. Curiously, the video card's in an 8-bit slot, but I'll go over more of this in an actual video. It's got a Chipson Technologies chipset. Funny. There's an I.O. card, which is in fact a multi-I.O. board. It's got IDE and floppy built on, as well as the serial and parallel. Here's the video. What is that? Paradise. So, it's actually a newer video card. I'm surprised to see that it's 8-bit ISA only. My understanding is that Paradise was basically spun off from Western Digital. So it came after the Western Digital name on video chipsets was retired. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is older. Either way, I don't know how much memory is installed. Looks like the first bank is soldered, so hopefully it's all good. If I wanted to add more memory, I'd have to get more of those chips. I don't know if I really care enough. I think this could take, let's see, got the little guide here as far as the switches go. Looks like it could take up to 4 megabytes. Okay, I don't have my AT keyboard out here. I'm not going to go get it since, again, this is not a full video. It's just a precursory examination. And all those tantalum capacitors in there, those yellow things. Their nickname is tantrum capacitors, and I'm hoping that we won't get to find out why. Because I got the cover off, but that just guarantees that that's probably what they'll do. So, let's see what it does. Jeez, that was a floppy drive, so that's stuck. Ugh, give me the auto so I can see what's going on here. No, that hard drive is not good. At least I don't think it is. Sounds like it's stuck. CMOS RAM error, keyboard error. Press F1 to continue. 2 megabytes of memory. So, again, I'm standing back from it just in case it decides that it will blow up. We've got a serviceable machine. I'll probably have to replace that hard drive with something else. With what, I don't know. It's going to have to be IDE, because I'm not putting a different controller board in there, so. But, again, we've got a promising start, so stay tuned for videos on both systems. Because they will come eventually.